Hey everyone, it's Paul with a sore throat because I've been sick with your Bold Profits Daily. Today I want to tell you about what I believe is going to happen in 2020 with three signature investments that we often focus on at Bold Profits. And you know that Ian talks a lot about this on Fridays, and we are going to try to get a recording in as long as my voice holds up of what I call Friday Ian Cast, where we cover these three topics. However, I'm going to start today by telling you what I believe is going to happen with these three things. And they are Tesla, Bitcoin, and pot. So let's start with Tesla. So 2018 and 2019, you would have to say, have been a mixed bag for Tesla. They launched the Model 3, and there were very high expectations. And actually, generally, when you look at what has happened at Tesla, the business, pretty much everything has worked out. However, in between that, there were Elon's tweets. There was a takeover that never happened and perhaps was never going to happen. Then there was all the other stuff. And in the meantime, the Model 3 has established itself as a blockbuster selling car that is well on its way to really destroying an entire part of the existing car market and creating a new category of cars. And at the same time, Tesla has now established itself as the leader, obviously, in electric vehicles, and it has also established itself as the leader in autonomous driving, which is that their lead now is really compounding. They've got now autopilot, which is, in my estimation, based on actually using the service, the product, I'd say it's 70, 80% on the highway, local roads, much lower, maybe 20, 30, 40%, depending on the kinds of roads. The smart summon, I would say, is at 50, 60%. However, with each year and with more usage, it is going to get more smart, more intelligent. And so Tesla now has so many things going for it. And then on top of that, I believe that you're going to see the business side really show through. In other words, the Model 3 is, in my opinion, going to be a cash gushing machine. They have stripped this car down, and they believe that it can generate margins of 20 to 30%, which is unheard of in the auto industry. So many things I believe are setting up to go right for Tesla. And I believe that in 2020, for sure, we will see Tesla become the next four-digit stock. So meaning that it will have a price that is $1,000 or more. There is one assumption, meaning that they don't split the stock. Obviously, if they split the stock, then this prediction will not be true. So that's on Tesla. And I'm not intending to forget, and they've got all these new models coming out too. So they've got Model Y coming out, and they've got the Tesla Semi. So there's all that new product momentum as well that's coming their way. All right, so now let's get to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I believe, is going to have a breakout year. And really, there's two reasons for it. Number one, Bitcoin, after going through its 2017 bubble, its 2018 crash, its 2019 recovery, now I believe has a number of things going for it. Number one is that interest rates are going down around the world. And for many countries around the world, there's also negative interest rates. And there's any number of things that are really destroying the monetary system as people know it. Why would anybody really ever choose to save money if you put it in the bank and you get less money back? Other places like countries like Argentina and places like in Africa, these countries are run on an inflationary basis where it's really intended to completely rob people of their savings. And so worldwide, people are going to see that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies offer a much better deal and are going to start to adopt it because they have phones and they can find a way to buy it, and allows them to carry this currency around and where it maintains its value, even with all of its volatility, better than the paper currencies that exist today. Second thing going for Bitcoin is that because we have gone through this wave of selling that happened in 2018 and to some extent 2019, there's a lot of money that is sitting there in cash that is going to look to go into stock markets, crypto markets, and that's really the choices that are there because the bond markets have been bid up because of the panic and fear of 2018, 2019. Cash, obviously, you're getting nothing in interest rates and you got negative interest rates, so that's gone as well. And I believe some of that money is headed for the crypto markets, and that means sooner rather than later, you're going to get bid up buyers coming to buy crypto. And I believe that is going to hit right in the smack of what is still pretty poorly understood, which is something called a halvening for Bitcoin. In other words, the amount of Bitcoin that can be mined is going to be halved come May of 2020. And so the supply of Bitcoin that can be generated by Bitcoin miners is going to be severely shrunk. And so when you get all these three things happening at the same time, I believe you can have a massive, massive upside where Bitcoin makes new highs. I believe it could get to $50,000 because the supply has shrunk while the demand, I believe, is going to be larger than ever. And you know, at Bull Profits, that's what we focus on, demand and supply. Last one, pot. So we recently put a pot stock into Profits Unlimited and it has gone down. And I've gotten a lot of panicked emails from people who are worried. And so yesterday in Market Talk, I put up this chart which shows you that from 2018 to 2025, based on forecasts, the sales of pot are expected to triple from 10 to about $30 billion. And so if you look at where pot is as a business and you consider that pot is going to be replacing wine, beer, cigarettes, spirits, and the market capitalization of all those old businesses, some part of which is going to come into pot, you would be pretty optimistic. And there's nothing that suggests that these businesses are broken. In other words, the demand for pot is still there. The biggest really issues is that it's a somewhat immature industry. There are still challenges around financing the industry. However, there is no issue. Pot is still in demand and its growth is rising and rising. And I believe it is worthwhile to sit through the volatility. So I expect that all the folks that are selling pot stocks to be largely flushed out of the market by the time this year ends. And then as buyers come in, the folks that are buying now act as the strong hands. In other words, people who are willing to endure through some volatility. However, they've got stock at cheap prices. They know it's valuable. And now when the demand comes in, these stocks can rocket higher. So those are my predictions for Tesla, Bitcoin, and pot. Incredible breakout years for these three signature investments that we track all the time at Bull Profits. And if you like this video, please subscribe to this video, give this video a thumbs up. Tell me what you think. What do you think of these predictions? Do you think that Tesla, Bitcoin, and pot are setting up for the 2020 that I have laid out? Tell me what your thoughts are. So if you like this video, share it with your friends and family, tell other folks about it, and come back next week when I'll have another video for you. Until then, this is Paul saying bye.